Marc Rebillet joins us now. It's great to have you here in studio. I really enjoyed meeting you just a short time ago, and I really enjoyed what you do. But
Thanks,
for people who are being introduced to you for the first time tonight, how would you describe what it is that you do on stage? Because we saw what you did on YouTube and what you did in your basement, but now you're on stage with this bigger thing. What is it?
You know, it's hard to find a good descriptor. It's kind of like a big panic attack up there. You know, it's like I don't really know what I'm doing when I walk up there, and so every night, you know, the show is improvised from top to bottom essentially, and so I have no set list and no real idea of what I'm going to be doing. So I get up on stage and figure it out based on the energy in the room, based on what the audience is giving me, based on how I'm feeling that day. But essentially, I'm making up songs from scratch and performing them in my underwear and screaming and jumping around.
And just to be clear, you've played rooms with 50 people and you've played Coachella. So
yes.
The energy of the room can vary depending on where you play. What people may not know is you're a classically trained pianist.
Yes.
So there's a serious musical background here. Take us back to when you started doing this in your basement.
Oh, man. You know, I basically, yeah, I mean, I've been playing piano since I was a kid. I spent many unsuccessful years trying to make music in the traditional way.
Beats. And
yeah, home production sort of thing. I wanted to be behind the scenes. And yeah, that didn't really work. And so I tried the other thing. And yeah, I saw Reggie Watts. I bring him up a lot. He's like a huge inspiration for me. He's like one of the original looping, improvised looping performers. And so I decided to give that a shot. I bought myself a looper and just started making stuff in front of a camera and posting it to YouTube. And
yeah, and the bathrobe and the boxers and the comedy.
Yeah.
It's all this. This is my alarm clock right now, by the way. So you released your very first studio-made single, Vibes All Right.
Yes.
This summer. I'm sure you get this question a lot, but if people are watching what you're doing on stage right now and you're telling everybody that it's improvising, how is it different? Is it more disciplined in the studio, or does it take more discipline to be improvising?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, it's I think they're just different ways of working. You know what I mean? It's
you like them both? Which do you like better?
I do like them both. Yeah. I mean, the studio, it was interesting being back in the studio because it's what, you know, it's what I like learned to do in the first place. So it felt familiar. I hadn't done it in a long time. So yeah, it's a much more sort of detail-oriented, fussy method of working on stuff. I think now I'm much more comfortable just like very quickly creating and then throwing it away. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process of making things in a way that was predetermined, writing things out carefully, going over things, reworking, retracking. It's fun.
Do you feel like it's a different part of you, or is it part of the genre that began, you know, in your basement? Is it like, hey, I have this career, I do this stuff over here, I do this over here, or do you feel like what you did in the studio is part of it all? I
think it's definitely part of it all. It's yeah, I mean, the two coexist. I may dip my toe into the studio work here and there, but I think the focus will always be on, you know, it's a weird thing that has managed to manifest this show that is, I didn't plan it at all, you know what I mean?
How could you?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't plan what you do on stage every night. I can't wait to see you on tour at some point, you know, when you come through New York, or I'll come see you somewhere else.
Come through, Phil.
It's a great show.
Thanks, man.
Really pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
Marc Rebillet, We Outside tour. Well, we'll soon be making stops in Atlanta. Oh, here you go. DC, Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago. And you can catch Marc's latest single, Vibes All Right, and his complete discography wherever you stream your music. And